Anyway, that was one heck of a week for football.
This time, though, it's wrapped up. The board. No, they fake it and they throw it to the middle. What's it say? Touchdown, Arizona. Second down.
Straight away from 20 yards.
Coming from the range. Down he goes. Von Miller. Looks like Shaq.
Detroit's drive.
Second and 5. Rodgers comes back to the other side towards Lazard, who's got it down in bounds.
Okay, guys. So, before I get into 15 games we have to recap, I probably should tell you, Aaron, AB, if you're a fan of him for whatever reason, yeah, he's done. He did some, as you could see in the video, not very intelligent things. As a result, most likely gone. I just hope he gets better, because you don't want to see NFL players go out like that and never really get better. I really hope he gets better. I hope the best for him. Either way, guys, let's get right into the video. First game we're doing for the recap, Giants-Bears. Okay, Bears, they won this thing 29-3. Giants fall to 4-12. They're terrible. Bears not much better, but they are 6-10. Saying you're not getting that great of a second draft pick. Either way, Mike Glennon was awful, 4 of 11, 24 yards, 2 interceptions. He got sacked like 8 times. Saquon honestly ran the ball really well against a really banged up D line. Best game of his season by far. Other than that, they ran the ball well. I said run the ball with Saquon for over 150. They ran the ball really well. I mean, what am I doing? We're doing Giants this one first because kind of wanted to get out of the way. But either way, Giants offense run away with Saquon for over 150. They didn't get there. Their offense scored 3 points. Obviously, they're getting a minus. Yeah, Saquon had a good game. Good for him, but they still got crushed. Giants defense stopped the run and made the tackle on. They did not double the tight end. They did not make a ton of tackles. Yeah, they had 2 picks. I'll give them an underscore. Like, their offense was terrible, but the defense played okay. Playing a terrible offense. Bears, Andy Dalton was terrible. 18-35, 173. Touchdown, a pick. David Montgomery was 22 for 64, 2 touchdowns. Was good in the red zone. Darnell Mooney, good game. Allen Robinson still has been so disappointing. Cole Kmet, not much better. Overall, this offense, I will give an underscore. They did score points. They did run the ball actually decently well at some points. And they did turn over the ball a couple times, but they did take advantage of the Giants' turnovers, so I will give them that. Defensively, let's see, they had 3 sacks, 2 picks, 4 sacks. 4 sacks, 2 picks. I'll give you a plus. They gave 3 points. They had 2 turnovers. Stop the run. They didn't really do that, but they did force 2 turnovers, and they did hold the Giants to 3 points, so you can't really get mad about that. Next game, not much better. Oh yeah, and if you guys didn't know, there's actually a game going to be on. There's a game on. There's 2 games on Saturday this week, so that's cool. And then of course we have crazy week. Either way, Dolphins 8-8. They lost 34-3 over the Titans. They're 11-5. I think they're eliminated. I don't really know for sure, but it seems like they are. Yeah, it really does seem like they're eliminated, though. Yeah, there's a good chance they're eliminated, though. Yeah, I think the Dolphins are eliminated. All you need to know is that they lost, like, bad. And yeah, that's kind of really it. They got clobbered. They played bad. Either way, though, Tua was 18 of 35, 205 interception. Duke Johnson, 7 for 49. When they ran the ball, they ran it really well. Mike Gesicki, 451, decent game. Jalen Waddle, 3 for 47. 4 for 64 for Devontae Parker. Tua had 2 bad fumbles, but honestly, can't really blame him since the weather was so bad. If you didn't know, Tua struggles in bad weather. Dolphins offense, I'm giving them a minus. They didn't run the ball, and when they should have just ran the ball the whole game. They didn't really do anything I told them to do, kind of, because they got behind, but they got blown out. I don't really know what else to say. Their defense couldn't stop a turtle. They had a sack, but that was really it. They struggled the whole game. They did not stop the run. They did not force really any turnovers. They did get 1 sack, but that was about it. Dolphins laid an egg. Titans, I really didn't think they played that amazing. Ryan Tannehill, when he did throw the ball, was pretty efficient. 13 of 18, 122 touchdowns. Dante Foreman had a great game. This is what you want to see in the playoffs. 26 for 132, a touchdown. Dontrell Hilliard, 8 for 45, a touchdown. A.J. Brown, 2 for 41. Dontrell Hilliard, 3 for 33. Of course, we're giving them a plus. They ran the ball really well. They did not really target A.J. Brown in the red zone or at all. It didn't really matter, though, because they ran the ball so well, and their defense played really well. Their defense had 1, 2, 3 sacks, a pick. They had, how many combined turnovers? I think they had 3 combined turnovers, maybe 2. They didn't really have to stop the run because the Dolphins didn't really run the ball. Under 25 minutes possession, and bam, they're getting a plus. Titans, huge win for them. They're right now the #1 seed. I don't think they should be, but they are. Next game. This game, pretty simple, was a straight-up blowout. Patriots put up 50, and the Jags put up 10. Really, that's all I can really say. Sorry, it's loading. The Wi-Fi's been bad, so yeah. Waiting for the Wi-Fi to come back up. Okay, Wi-Fi is back up. So yeah, pretty much, Jags June 14. If they lose next week, they get the #1 seed. Patriots are 10-6. They win 50-10. Trevor Lawrence was terrible, 17-27, 193, touchdown, 3 picks. They ran the ball a couple times. They ran it pretty well. Laquan Treadwell, best game of his career, 6 for 87. Marvin Jones, 2 for 46. Daryl Ogunbowale, 2 for 32 and a touchdown. Defensively, Chris Claybrooks didn't do anything. They kind of stunk overall. I don't even really want to have to say anything. They did not run the ball for over 200. They did not have no turnovers. They were bad. They did not stop the run. They get a minus all over the board. They gave up 50 points. No, we are not going to the recap. Patriots. Mac Jones, 22 for 32, 27, 3 touchdowns. He was good. Ramondre Stevenson and Damian Harris. Damian Harris wasn't great. Ramondre Stevenson got a good amount of carries. He wasn't good. Run the ball basically 3+ touchdowns in the first half. They did that. They get a plus defensively. Yeah, I mean, they weren't great in garbage time. Like, are they supposed to be? Oh yeah, Christian Wilkerson. Good job. You got 2 garbage time touchdowns. Brian Hoyer was decent too. J.C. Jackson had a pick. Miles Bryant had a pick. He's a rookie. Christian Barmore had a sack. Dante Hightower had a sack, and Kyle Duggar had a pick. Oh yeah, yeah. So overall, they get a plus. They did get 3+. They did get 3 turnovers. They only got 2 sacks, but they kind of were just playing off the rest of the game. Stop the run. They did that when they had to, and they did not. They gave up like 2 third down. No, they gave up a lot of third down conversions, but that was in garbage time. So I don't. No, wait, third down conversions. No, they were not bad. Okay, we're done with the games on CBS. Okay. Falcons Bills. So basically this game was not great. Falcons is now 7-9. They lost 29-15 over the Bills, who are now 10-6. Matt Ryan wasn't bad. 13 of 23, 197. It wasn't the elements. Cordell Patterson wasn't good. Mike Davis wasn't much better. He wasn't terrible. He only got 8 carries, though. Kyle Pitts got hurt, and he had 1 monster catch. Other than that, they really didn't have anything huge in the receiving game. Run the ball, Cordell Patterson, they barely did it. When they did, it wasn't great. They did not convert 15+ attempts. They didn't target Kyle Pitts a lot because he kind of got hurt. I'll give them an underscore. They did put up 15 against a really good defense. They were able to run the ball decent with Mike Davis on some plays, so I will give them that. Defensively, they were great against the pass. They were terrible against the run. They had sacked 3 picks. Yeah, unlucky. Yeah. Any of you Bills fans are like, oh, some of those picks were bad. We're not bad. Well, yeah, they were. I watched. Josh Allen was not on. AJ Terrell was on Stephon Diggs the whole game. Shut him down. Stopped the run. They didn't do that great. They did not really contain Josh Allen. Give him an underscore because they had 3 picks and they did have a couple of big sacks. Now for the Bills. Josh Allen, like I said, wasn't good in the air. 11 for 26, 120, 3 interceptions. You don't throw 15 incompletions and say you had a good game. I'm sorry. Devin Singletary was great though. 23, 110, 2 touchdowns. Josh Allen 15 for 81 and 2 touchdowns. And he slid. Stephon Diggs, yeah, that's kind of a shutdown game. I'm sorry, that's not a great game. They did run the ball 20+ times. They did protect Josh Allen. They did not get 10+ targets to Stephon Diggs. They got like 8. And, oh yeah, come on, yeah. I'll give them a plus. That's what I want to see out of the Bills in the playoffs, because if they can run the ball like that, they'll win every game. Defensively, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sacks. Greg Rousseau. When did Greg Rousseau go there? Whatever. I guess he's. Oh, no, what am I saying? Gregory Rousseau finally had another big play. He had a nice sack. Stop the run. They didn't really do that great, but they did double Kyle Pitts. I'll give him an underscore. Like, they give 15 points. You know, it's not that bad, but could have played better. Okay, we're done with this stinker. Now we go to another game that I really don't want to have to talk about because, well, it's kind of depressing what happened. I'm not kidding. Oh, not again. Okay. Oh, we're good. We're good. The Wi-Fi has been really bad today. Okay. For the Bucs, they won 28-24 over the Jets, who are now 4-12. Tom Brady, game-winning drive. Yeah, Bucs have a big win. Yeah, they're not the number 1 seed. They're not the number 1 seed. I'll spoil that for you guys. Tom Brady, though, 34 of 54, 10, 3 touchdowns, interception. I'm just going to open up a playoff picture. Okay, make it 2022. No. Okay, that's much better. We'll get to that in a second. Either way, for the Bucs, yeah, Tom Brady was good. 34, 50, 410, 3 touchdowns, interception. Keyshawn Vaughn, they didn't really run the ball well at all. Rob Gronkowski had a big game. We're not going to talk about Antonio Brown. Le'Veon Bell, 3 for 30, had some targets. Overall, I'm going to give this offense an underscore. You know, I'll give him a plus. They came through at the end. Gronk had a big game. Antonio Brown, we're not going to talk about him. We know what happened. He left the game. Le'Veon Bell did get 5 targets. He did drop 1 pass, and he got hit on another one. Ronald Jones and Keyshawn Vaughn didn't really run the ball that well, but Tom Brady came through in the end. They had a big game. I'll give them what they deserve, a plus. Defensively, though, they're not getting even close to a plus. Anthony Nelson had a sack, yeah. They were not good. Yeah, Antoine Winfield Jr. got cooked a little. Zach Wilson looked really good. I'm giving him a minus. They did pressure Wilson pretty well, and they weren't good against the run. But they just gave him 24 points to a bad offense. Zach Wilson was really good, 19 of 33, 234 touchdown. Michael Carter was good on the ground with 3 carries. Other than that, they didn't really run the ball that well. Braxton Berrios had 2 touchdowns. Ty Johnson also had a touchdown. Run the ball for over 150. They ran the ball for over 100, I think. Yeah, they close to 150. And they did score 20 plus. I'll give them a plus. They definitely got the job done. They were playing a decent defense, and as a result, they almost won, and they probably should have. They should not have gone for it on 4th down. They would have won it if they didn't. Michael Carter had a sack. Brandon Echols had a pick. Double Antonio Brown. When he played, they didn't really get any catches. Pressure Brady. They did pressure Brady decently. Honestly, I'll give him an underscore. They did kind of keep him in the game at some points, but could have been a lot worse. I think the Jets defense, for what they were, played okay. Okay, next game. Raiders Colts. This was a great just rock'em sock'em affair. If you like good defense, well, you got it. Okay, for the Raiders, they ended up winning this 23-20. Of course, you saw the walk-off kick by Daniel Carlson. Both teams are now 9-7. That really makes the playoffs look a lot more interesting. Run the ball, Josh Jacobs, like he did last week. Not really. He was just pretty darn just hard-nosed because they did try to really stop the run. And they did turn over the ball 2 times with Derek Carr. The offense didn't play great in the 3rd quarter. They were awful. 2nd quarter, they weren't great. 24-31, 255 touchdowns, 2 picks for Derek Carr. I'll give them an underscore. I really don't think they played well, but it was really their defense that won them the game. Zay Jones had a big game. Same thing with Hunter Renfrow. Jalen Richard had a huge catch in the 4th quarter. Defensively, that's good defense. They get a plus. They didn't get really any turnovers. They weren't great against the run, but they just didn't really give any big plays. You want to see that against the Colts. Colts are not the greatest, perfect offense. They will make a lot of mistakes, and that's what they did. Carson went 16 of 27, 148 touchdown. Really just a lot of checkdowns, pretty inaccurate in the 1st quarter. 20 carries for Jonathan Taylor, 20 for 108 and a touchdown. Naheem Hines had some touches, 4 for 14. I did like what they did. 10 plus times, they didn't really do that. And, of course, 15 plus touches on Jonathan Taylor. They did that. Michael Pittman had his big catch, too. Allen forced that huge touchdown on his only catch. They did not really turn over the ball, though. Give them an underscore. They played decent. They just didn't do really enough to win. Carson Wentz is going to have to throw for more yards. They got to move the ball through the air. Defensively, they had 2 sacks and 2 picks. Honestly, they played pretty well. Stopped the run, 2 plus turnovers. They did get 2 turnovers. They were decent against the run. I'll give them an underscore. They couldn't hold them in the end, and that's the reason they lost. I'm just saying that. The reason the Rams won is because their defense held. They couldn't do that. That's the reason they lost. Next game, this game was awful from the start to the finish, kind of like the Titans game. But the Eagles ended up winning this 2016. They go to 9-7. They're now in the playoffs. Washington 6-10. They were kind of technically, they weren't eliminated, but we all thought they were. No one really, unless you were some diehard Redskins fan or Washington fan, my bad. You'd think that they'd win this. It's hard. Jalen Hurts wasn't really that great, but 17 for 26, 214. They didn't really run the ball that well, but Boston Scott did have a big touchdown. Dallas Goedert, 6 for 71. He had a good game. Overall, his offense was pretty much average. They did not score 20-plus points in the first half. They did not run the ball for over 200 yards, and they did not have a turnover. They didn't turn over the ball. They played decent football. As a result, they won. Their defense was great, though. They had 3 sacks, a pick. I said for them, 2 plus turnovers. They did have 1. They didn't have a fumble though. I think they had a fumble. Recovery. Stop the run. They did stop the run decently. Pressure the quarterback on every down. They did that pretty well. They got a plus. They did decent. Well, they played really well. Washington. Taylor Heineke. Honestly, overall, he had a decent game. 27 for 38, 271, and a interception. Antonio Gibson didn't play. I'm just gonna say run the ball overall. I think they ran the ball 1, 3, 4, 8, 10. They ran the ball 22 times. That wasn't enough. I wanted them to run the ball a lot, and they didn't really. They had a bad interception at the end of the game. Honestly, they had a chance to win it. I have to give them a minus. They weren't absolutely terrible like they were last week, but they still weren't that great. Jared Patterson, though, good game. Terry McLaurin, good game. Defensively, they had a sack. Honestly, they weren't that terrible. Overall, their attitudes, I really don't like them, but other than that, they weren't that bad. They had a big sack, though. Bunny Raimi had a big sack. Other than that, though, they weren't that great. They did stop the run. I will give them an underscore, but, you just don't really like to see that from this defense, considering how good they were last year. It doesn't really matter anymore, because they're definitely not the same defense. Now we go to, this game was on, where is it? Yeah, my Rams played on national television and looked bad in the first half, good in the second half. Matt Stafford, 26 of 35, 309, 2 touchdowns, 2 picks. He was 14 for 14 in the second half. He threw 2 touchdowns. He had a upside down game. First half awful, second half good. Against the best rushing defense in the NFL, Sony Michel, I'd say, was good. 19 for 74. Oh yeah, the Rams won, 12 and 4, 2019 over the Ravens. Ravens, basically a miracle to happen if they want to make the playoffs. Rams, on the other hand, they win. And they get the number 2 seed. Yay. Yeah, the Rams want the number 2 seed. They don't want to be playing the Packers in the divisional round again. Cooper Kupp had a great game. Tyler Higbee, same thing. Van Jefferson had some big catches. Offense, I will give an underscore. Did they get a plus? Heck no, because Matt Stafford threw a pick 6. Second half was F. Second half was an A. First half was an F. Put that in the middle, they get an underscore. But OBJ came through in the end. That's the reason they won the game. But you gotta keep it count for the second half. First half. Defensively, they had 5 sacks, a pick. Pretty simple. Stop the run and force 2 plus turnovers. They did stop the run. 2 plus turnovers. They had 1 turnover, I think. But they didn't give up a touchdown. And when you don't give up a touchdown, you're usually gonna win a game, and that's what they did. Obviously, I'll give an applause. Von Miller, that huge sack to end the game. Rams, huge win. They need to win next week too. But yeah, then for the Ravens, Tyler Huntley wasn't great. 20-32, 197 interception. Wasn't terrible. You see these numbers? They're not as great as you think. Devontae Freeman had a 30-something yard run. Tyler Huntley's a quarterback. The Rams don't really care for quarterbacks, unless it's Kyler Murray. Mark Andrews had a good game, 6 for 89. Rashad Bateman, same thing. Marquise Brown was not good. Run the ball for over 200, no. 3 touchdowns in the first half, no. They're getting an underscore, though, because they did score some points. They were out without a touchdown, but it wasn't the record quarterback. I'll give them a break. Defensively, they had a sack, 2 picks. First half, I'm giving an A. Second half, not so much. Stop the run. They did not really stop the run great. They were okay. 2 plus turnovers. They did have 2. Did have a pick 6. We'll give them an underscore. They weren't great, but they weren't terrible. Give them that. Their secondary, of course, was a liability, but considering how good they had those picks, that's it. Next game, Chiefs Bengals. Chiefs came out with it 34-31. What am I saying? Bengals won 34-31. Of course, in that game-winning kick. Bengals now 10-6. Chiefs 11-5. Chiefs most likely not getting the number 1 seed. Bengals, the huge win for them. They won the North. They have a playoff spot. Mahomes was great. 26 of 35, 259, 2 touchdowns. They weren't great in the second half though. They only scored 3 points. You got to remember that. But considering how bad the Bengals defense didn't play in the first half, I can't really blame them. Darrell Williams was great. Honestly, they ran the ball really well. But Cole Hardman 1 for 53, 6 for 40 for Tyreek Hill. Here's my only problem. They scored 3 points in the second half. They didn't run the ball well. Check down screens, quick throws. They did not that all great. They scored 3 points in the second half. You're not going to win games. I'm sorry. I'll give them an underscore. They did put up 28 in the first half. You don't really see that often. As a result, still giving them an underscore. They need to play better next game in the second half. Chiefs defense, what the heck happened? Yeah, you have 4 sacks. You really don't care because you ran a 0 blitz on 3rd and 27. You would have won the game if you didn't run that. Most likely. Stop the run. 2 plus turnovers. No. They're getting a minus. Chiefs just blew the game in the second half. Can't do that in the playoffs. I'm sorry. Bengals, Joe Burrow, another great game. 30 of 39, 446 to 4 touchdowns. He's the only problem is he holds onto the ball too long. Oh, they're giving up too many sacks. Joe Burrow takes a lot of sacks. 1, he holds onto the ball too long. 2, he just takes them. He doesn't try to throw it away. kind of being honest right there. When they ran the ball, it wasn't great. Jamar Chase, I don't really even know what else to say. 11 for 266 for 3 touchdowns. He got me 55 points in fantasy. He's a beast. T. Higgins had 3 big catches. Joe Mixon, same. He had 7. Tyler Boyd had a touchdown. What I said, run the ball, 25 points in touches to all those guys. They definitely got that done. No turnovers. Obviously, they're getting a plus defensively. Stop the run. No. Pressure the QB. Well, let's see. Did they get a sack? No. 2 high safeties for the whole game. Yeah, they basically did that. I'll give them an underscore. They weren't great, but second half they were great. First half they were awful. Like, you're going to get an underscore every time you do that. That's kind of how a lot of the games were this week. At least the good ones. Don't tell me it's going to do it. Okay, I did. Next game, now we're going to the late window games. Sorry, the Wi-Fi is really bad. Okay. Texans lost 23-7 over the 49ers, who are now 9-7. Texans dropped to 4-12. Davis Mills 21-32, 163 touchdown to pick. Rex Burkhead was not great in the running game. Brandon Cooks had a good game, 7 for 66 and a touchdown. Run the ball well, play action shots. They did take some shots. One of them ended in an interception. Another one was for a touchdown. But when you don't run the ball well, you're not going to win games. I will give them a minus because they put up 7 points. They were not good other than the first quarter. Defensively, like, can't give them a minus considering how bad their defense is. But they had a sack, a pick. Desmond King forced the big interception to start in low. Was it the third quarter? Jordan Jenkins had a nice sack. Overall, contained Trey Lance. They did that pretty well. Forced 2 plus turnovers. They only got 1. We'll give them an underscore. They could have been a lot worse. 49ers offense. Like, Trey Lance was pretty decent. 16 for 23, 249, 2 touchdowns, a pick. Elijah Mitchell, Elijah Mitchell, he had a good game, 21 for 119. They ran the ball close to 200 yards. They ran the ball pretty well. And they did utilize Trey Lance in the running game. I'll give them a plus. Yeah, I'm giving the defense, but the defense did play well against them. They did have a good design. Brandon Ayuk had some big catches. DBC had this touchdown. George Kittle had 1 big catch, and then they just shut him down. They doubled him defensively. 3 sacks, a pick. Honestly, other than the first quarter, I think they played awesome. They did stop the run. They did pressure the quarterback. And they played a solid game against a bad offense. Next game, the second of the 405 games. Broncos, they just got basically beat here. Chargers wasn't even close. 34-13 over the Broncos, who are now out of the playoffs, total 7-9. Chargers 9-7. They'll be playing on Sunday Night Football next week against the Raiders. Huge game. Oh, yeah, and of course, we had the end keys of the game. But Drew Lock was 18 of 25, 245 touchdown. He was basically really good. They only ran the ball a couple of times. Javonte Williams did not have it. Noah Fant had a good game, though. Cortland Sutton, same thing. Run the ball, efficiently play action shots to Cortland Sutton. They basically just did that the whole game. Seth Williams was basically just in there for Jerry Jeudy. Run the ball well. I'd say they did that. I'm not giving them a plus because they couldn't score in the red zone. And they just weren't really that consistent. I'll give them an underscore, though, considering they had Drew Lock quarterback. Defensively, they were just going to get basically put it simple. They're getting a flat-out minus. They did nothing well. They did nothing terrible, but they just didn't do anything well, and that's the reason they lost. Chargers, just remember 22 of 31, 237, 2 touchdowns. Good game. Austin Eckler, not very efficient, but he got the job done. Same thing with Justin Jackson. Mike Williams had a huge touchdown. Austin Eckler had some big catches. Keenan Allen had a touchdown. Run the ball for over 150, not even close. No turnovers. They didn't have a turnover. Possession ball for over 35 minutes. Bam, that's the big one. They're getting a plus considering they had the ball for basically the whole game. It just felt every time I turned on the TV, they had the ball. Defensively, they had a sack. Jerry Tiller had a sack. Overall, they didn't really play that terrible. Stop the run. They didn't really do that totally terrible, but they were just about average. I'll give them a plus, though, considering they only give 13 points. The red zone defense has been a lot better. But if they play like that, they will win in the playoffs. Next game, this game was just the second highest scoring game of the season. Seahawks won in a meaningless game, 51-29. They're now 6-10. Lions 4-2, 13-1. Trying to still get that first overall pick. They probably won't get it, but who the heck knows? Lions offense. Tim Boyle was honestly as meh as you're going to get. No. For Tim Boyle, I'm not really that surprised. 22 for 37, 262, 2 touchdowns, 3 picks. 2 of his interceptions were terrible. The other one was meh. Amon-Ra St. Brown, a nice touchdown run. Jamal Williams had a big goal line one. Amon-Ra St. Brown led the team in receiving yards. Run the ball for over 200 yards. Not even, like, you could go to Jupiter. You wouldn't even get that much. Play action. Plays in 20% of snaps. Bam. 5 plus targets to Amon-Ra St. Brown. They got that. They're getting a plus. They put up 29 points. I don't care they turned over the ball 3 times. If they're going to have to do that again to put up 29 points, I really don't care. Because put up 29. Good chance you got blown out if you're the Lions. But they can put up 29. I'll give them a plus. Like, it doesn't really matter at this point. As long as Amon-Ra St. Brown is getting his catches, I'm good. Austin Bryant had a sack. Their defense was doo-doo. They were giving up yardage left and right. Didn't really matter because their defense is so hurt and just bad. Seahawks, Russell Wilson finally had a good game after his injury. 20 of 29, 236, 4 touchdowns. Rashad Penny could run like he wanted to. 25 for 170, 2 touchdowns. DK had 3 touchdowns. Tyler Lockett had 1 big catch, and he did have a touchdown too. Run the ball for over 100 yards. Yeah, they just did basically everything. They're getting a plus. Seahawks even stopped throwing 3+ turnovers. They got 3. They did stop the run. They're getting not getting a plus. They give up a lot of yards. I'm going to underscore. Could have played better, but considering their injuries, I don't really care. Next game, Panthers Saints. This game was just defense. I'll put it as simple as I can. Defense. If you wanted to watch this game, man, I felt bad for you because this game was bad. Sam Darnold was better than Cam Newton, at least 17 of 26 to 132 interception. Chuba Hubbard didn't run the ball. No one really ran the ball this game. Ian Thomas had a couple of big catches. Overall, this offense gets a minus. They didn't even score close to 20. They didn't have 30+ rushing yards in the first quarter. Defensively, they had 2 sacks. They're playing a bad offense. They did give it up. They gave a big touchdown in the end. Stopped the run. They did do that. 3+ sacks. They only got 2. I'll give them an underscore. But okay, they just gave a bad touchdown. Saints didn't really run the ball a ton, but when they did, well, they ran the ball a good amount. But they weren't great. Taysom Hill was honestly pretty much as you want him to play. 17 for 28, 222 touchdown. Marcus Callaway, honestly, great game for him. Alvin Kamara was good in the receiving game, terrible in the running game. What am I going to give him? Run the ball 40+ times. They didn't do that flashy cross to Marcus Callaway and Traquan Smith. Bam. They didn't throw it to Traquan Smith. I don't know what. Oh, yeah, I forgot. Ow. Either way, they get an underscore. They did win the game, but they just were not good. Pretty much that's it. Defense, under 10 points alone. They got exactly 10. I'll give them that. Stop the run. They did that. They get a plus. Cameron Jordan, though, heck of a game. 3.5 sacks. They had 4, 5, 6, 7 sacks, and they had a pick. Woo! Woo! You're not going to get much better than that. Okay, we have 2 games to go. Okay, Cardinals, Cowboys. This game, good job, Cardinals. Now the Rams actually have to win next week, which they won't do. But, yeah, Cowboys, say goodbye to that #1 seed. Not for, like, the fact that they're going to get it anymore, but the Cowboys lost. They're now 11-5. Cardinals are 11-5, too, because they won. 25-22 is your final. Good chance that this could be a playoff rematch. Kyle Murray, 26-38, 263, and 2 touchdowns. He got the job done. Chase Edmonds, not great. Kyler Murray, he ran the ball, and they won the game. Chase Edmonds fumbled the game away, but since the Dallas didn't have a timeout, they ended up winning. Antonio Wesley, I don't really care. You only had 4 catches. You won the game. You 2 touchdowns. AJ Green had a good game. Zach Ertz, same thing with Christian Kirk. Obviously, been this offensive plus. They didn't score 35. They did run the ball with James Conner. I don't think James Conner played. No, he didn't. But when they did run the ball, they got the job done. Obviously, I'll give them a plus. Defensively, same thing. They held them basically the whole game. They had Buda Baker had a sack. They were pretty banged up, though. I got to admit that. Double CeeDee Lamb and Amari Cooper. Bam. Stop the run. Bam. They get a plus. Cardinals played a good game. Cowboys, though, nah. Their offense did wake up, so I got to admit that. Dak was decent. 24 of 38, 226, 3 touchdowns. They didn't really run the ball at all, and when they did, it was bad. Dalton Schultz, when they throw the ball, like, no big plays. You want to see that. They did not run the ball they didn't really dominate this game on offense. I'll give them an underscore because they did kind of wake up in the end. It didn't really matter, though, because they lost the game. Defense, though, they let them down. They needed to have at least 1 turnover. They didn't get it. They had a sack, but they didn't get 3+ turnovers. I'm giving them a minus. They gave 25 points. They couldn't get it done in the end. That's the reason they lost. Okay, final game, and then, yeah, we got Monday Night Football, too. But, Vikings and, Packers. Packers ended up winning this 37-10. They blew them out because Sean Mannion was starting. 22 of 36, 189 touchdowns. Oh, yeah, the Packers got the #1 seed. Vikings are eliminated. They didn't run the ball at all. They couldn't really do it at all. Justin Jefferson, 6 for 58. He was getting double the whole game. It's kind of sad. Run the ball with, they couldn't really get it done. They were just stacking the box. They're getting a minus, obviously. They were not good. It wasn't really their fault. Like, you don't have Kirk Cousins. You're not going to win games. Yeah, that's kind of true anyway. Like, not as, like, a joke, but actually true. Stop the run under 20 minutes of possession time with the Packers offense. Packers on the ball felt like the whole game. They did it a lot. They didn't do anything terrible, but it was just like you can't do it when you're on the field that much. They're getting a -2. Packers, like, honestly, their offense wasn't that great, but they got it done, I'd say. Aaron Rodgers, another solid game, 29 of 38, 288, and 2 touchdowns. Aaron Jones ran the ball dominantly. Same thing with A.J. Dillon. They did have 40+ minutes of possession time. They did Run the ball for. They didn't run the ball for over 200, but they ran it really well. I'll give them a plus. Defensively, obviously, give them a plus. They only have 10 points. Pressure the quarterback. Let's see. All right, Devontae Adams had 11 for 136 and a touchdown. 2 sacks. Stop the run. Yeah, they did that. Okay, we're done with these games. Okay. Now let's look at the playoff picture in this thing. Okay. No, not this one. No, this is better. Okay. Basically, Patriots are in. Colts. Okay. This is actually cool. Colts, they win. Are they in? Let's see. Yeah, they win and they're in. Steelers, they went out in the in these two teams don't tie, and one of these teams if whoever and they don't tie, the Steelers are in. Steelers win out and they don't tie, they're in. Steelers just need to win out and hope that one of these teams, there's no tie and they're good. Like I said, Colts winning in. Ravens need a lot. If they win, they need a Patriots loss. No, Miami loss. Raiders loss. Chargers loss, and obviously they gotta win. And then for the NFC is really simple. I'll put it as simple as I can. If the 49ers win, they're in. If the 49ers lose and the Saints win, they're in. Okay, that's basically it for the NFC. Either way, guys, like and subscribe. Hope you enjoyed the Week 17 recap. That's going to be it. Hope you guys enjoyed. Long video, but we have 15 games to do. So, yeah, great week of football. Of course, go watch the highlights if you want. Yeah, that's all I have to do.